Beneath the ordinary world lies a veil, and behind it, the voices of the lost still whisper.
We are your guides into the shadows, where true crime meets the paranormal.
From chilling crimes to haunted histories, we uncover the stories that refuse to rest.
This is Veil of Echoes.
Before there were monsters, before there were portals or alternate worlds, or anything you could point to and explain, there was a quieter fear. The fear that children could disappear, that experiments could be hidden, that answers could be buried, and no one would be held accountable. Stranger Things didn't invent that fear. It recognized it. The creators of the series have spoken openly about drawing from real Cold War era government programs. Experiments that pushed past ethical boundaries in the name of progress. But for many viewers, the most unsettling part of the story was never the supernatural. It was the familiarity. Because long before the Upside Down, there was a world where children vanished. Institutions failed, and ordinary neighborhoods learned how to keep living anyway. Tonight, we're not retelling a story. We're stepping into fears beneath it, the ones that were real, and the ones that never fully left.
You're listening to Veil of Echoes, a true crime and paranormal podcast.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Bria. Tonight's episode is a short New Year's Eve mini bonus. We're releasing it to coincide with the final chapter of Stranger Things, not to recap the series, and not to discuss spoilers, but to reflect on the real-world fears, historical context, and cultural anxieties that echo beneath stories like this, and why they continue to resonate.
Instead, we're exploring documented history, cultural context, and widely discussed interpretations connected to the era and themes that influence stories like this.
Our focus tonight is reflection, not recap.
And if conversations like this resonate with you, our full catalog explores the real stories behind fear, mystery, and the unexplained.
From true crime to the paranormal, we take our time with these stories and tell them with care.
To understand why these fears feel so familiar, we have to start with what's been openly acknowledged. Because long before fiction gave them shape, they already existed in the real world. And this is where we begin.
One of the most clearly documented influences behind Stranger Things comes from the real Cold War era government programs. Programs designed to explore the limits of the human mind.
From the 1950s through the early 1970s, intelligence agencies conducted experiments focused on perception, behavior, and psychological control. These experiments didn't take place in dramatic locations. They happened in quiet rooms, behind closed doors, under fluorescent lights.
Some explored sensory deprivation, isolating the mind until it lost its frame of reference. Others focused on suggestion, memory alteration, and whether behavior could be influenced through pressure alone. In certain cases, children were involved, not because they were protected, but because they were considered adaptable.
What made these programs unsettling wasn't just what they were attempting. It was how quietly ethical boundaries disappeared.
Consent was unclear, oversight was minimal, records were sealed, Names were replaced with numbers, outcomes were summarized, and failures were filed away.
And when experiments ended, many participants were left without explanations, without acknowledgement, and without answers. There's one name that often surfaces when people trace these fears to their cultural edge: Montauk.
Before Stranger Things ever aired, the series was originally developed under the working title Montauk. The name referenced a real place, Camp Hero, a decommissioned military base on Long Island.
Over time, Camp Hero became associated with what was known as the Montauk Project, a collection of conspiracy theories alleging secret government experiments involving mind control and psychic phenomena.
There is no verified evidence that these experiences occurred as described, but the story endured.
Because it echoed something real.
Confirmed programs like MK Ultra had already shown that unethical experimentation was not hypothetical. It had happened.
And this fear wasn't limited to one country.
Across the Iron Curtain, the Soviet Union's intelligence agency, the KGB, was also associated with psychological research, interrogation techniques, and human experimentation.
Different governments, different ideologies. Same question.
How far could the human mind be pushed before it broke?
What made this era terrifying wasn't which side was worse. It was the realization that no one was really safe from the people claiming to protect them.
Fear didn't stop at borders. It crossed oceans, it crossed ideologies, and it settled into the public imagination. Montauk became a symbol, not of what could be proven, but of what people feared might have been hidden. Sealed bases, erased records, experiments pushed too far. The creators of Stranger Things have spoken openly about drawing inspiration from this era of secrecy, from the idea that powerful institutions were willing to operate beyond accountability. But for many viewers, the fear runs deeper than history.
Because these weren't stories about monsters. They were stories about trust.
So when you guys hear about programs like these, is it the experiments themselves that disturb you, or the fact that so many people trusted they would never happen?
That one experiment was pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I was about to say the experiments are more what...
The sleep experiments, like...
Yeah.
Come
well,
on,
that
man.
and like, it makes you wonder what
They're
they
purposely
have done
trying to
that
break your
haven't
psyche.
been released.
Yeah.
Like, they admitted that they're depriving you of these certain things to see how far your mind can go before you go nuts.
Well, just like what they do in Stranger Things. With
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you got, what, the sensory deprivation tank
Yeah.
for L.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the Upside Down, which Brenner and the Soviets tried to fuck with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, it would be the experiments more than anything.
Oh, yeah. And like what they're doing to these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're each trying these experiments in their own ways, so...
Yeah.
Seeing different ways they can break the mind.
And I know, like, you know, they say, what, with children?
I thought that was rain for a second. I was
know.
like, good God.
So I kept like, that's wind.
That fact, too, the fact that children were disappearing around this time as well, and people weren't expecting them to come back, and they were expecting to be safe, and it's like, well...
Yeah.
Well, that, and I guess they chose, what, children, because they are more innocent and more easy to adapt to.
That's what they're saying, they're adaptable.
Their minds are still being shaped.
Right.
Your mind's not fully developed until you're, what, 26?
Something like that, yeah.
And they
So
have
it's like-
documents saying this stuff was shut down, so it had to exist if it was shut down and it was canceled, so they were doing this stuff at one point in time. It's just been sealed away exactly what they were doing and how they were going about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Makes you...
Really makes you wonder.
But I can see why the Duffer Brothers made it into, like, it's into, you know.
Well, I like how the
Very
Duffers
interesting.
decided to use the KGB.
Yes.
Because how many movies...
Because at least that, I mean, Montauk is just a conspiracy theory. of
Yeah.
course, but KGB, that's a real
Well,
thing.
and how many movies and TV shows talk about the KGB?
Not many.
Exactly, and the KGB was a huge thing during the Cold War.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
huge thing.
Because we mentioned them in the, Dyatlov Pass?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they're huge. And, like, I would like to hear more about them and what they did because of... But it's like, I want to know more about the KGB and what they had to do. Because, like, in season 4, that's all that was talked about was
Yes.
KGB. But they never really fully went into what they were besides an organization.
Well, was it... Were they the ones who I know that's a theory, too. The Russian sleep experiment.
Yeah, I think that was just a theory that they...
Well, still.
Because I heard that wasn't actually a true story because
it's a-
Creepypasta took it and just
Which
exploded
is a
it.
good one.
But it's a fucking good
But
one.
then it makes you think, like, who knows what kind of experiments they don't have, you know, it could have
Exactly. I mean,
happened. I don't know.
just knowing that there were people trying to do something like this is just disgusting.
Yeah.
Because if it really was, like, if there really was an upside down, like, fuck you, government. Look
I
at what
know.
you just did.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck did you just bring out to people?
Well, look at the coronavirus. That was man-made.
Fucking bat.
So.
Fucking bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's tons. I mean, look at Area 51, for example.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I would love to go to Area 51.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know what's down there.
And don't they shoot you, like, isn't there signs that say, we will shoot you if...
I think it's like if you trespass, they can shoot on sight or some shit like
what
that.
are you guys hiding here? They probably
Exactly.
have their own upside down.
Exactly. That's probably where the upside down's at right now.
I know, right?
Something.
You guys say it's
freaking-
aliens. They say it's
Fucking-
government, protected government, whatever.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
But,
Yeah, and what makes you so entitled to be the only one to talk to other dimensional and otherworldly beings?
Exactly. I want to
Yeah.
talk. I want to talk to Vecna.
yeah. Or an alien.
I want to be like, bitch, what's so wrong with you? Why you got... Stop having so many problems, bro.
I think the only secrets they want to protect are the types of experiments they're running there.
Yep.
And that's scary to think about.
I mean, how many people have gone missing around Area
I
51?
was just thinking.
A lot.
Great minds think alike.
Like, are they using those parts? I mean, this is just all.
I mean,
theories, of
seriously,
course. It's
though.
not like-
How many people have been around Area 51 that have just mysteriously went missing?
A good question. I'm gonna ask.
Like, they were supposed to have that whole thing of Kyle's going there or whatever. When that petition was going around, getting everyone named Kyle to Area 51 and storming it. Like, take all the Kyles and do that. I want to see that happen. Tell me what y'all find down there.
It says, while there's no official count, a few highly publicized disappearances like hiker Kenny Veach in 2014 near M Cave, which is linked to Area 51 lore, fuel speculation, but reports suggest these are isolated incidents, not a mass trend amidst the vast, secretive Nevada desert near the base, which official figures for disappearances in surrounding public lands, far exceeding those directly attributed to Area 51's mystique.
I don't know.
So I guess we need to do one on missing people around Area 51.
The surrounding Nevada desert is vast, rugged, and dangerous, making people getting lost or injured a real risk.
That's why they put it there, so if they escape, they can't make it far.
Yep.
Because it's
Just-
in the middle of nowhere.
Just like season 4, the prison that Hopper was in, the Russian prison, is literally in a vast area of nothing. But
Yeah.
because it's in Russia and it fucking snowing, where do they have to go?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm interested in this
Like,
Kenny
better to
Beach
stay
guy
there.
now. Says he was a 47-year-old hiker and YouTuber who vanished in 2014 after exploring a strange cave near Area 51, the secretive military base in Nevada.
Ooh.
Look at that.
He claims to have hiked extensively in the area, even leaving several YouTube comments on the Area 51 video.
Hello, Kenny.
Yeah, I'll have to do one over him because that's interesting. So,
Yep.
Paranormal. And true crime.
his video was met with much criticism, and YouTube commenters both encouraged and provoked him to try for a third time to seek out the cave. Kenny again obliged, though one comment would stand out among all the others as an ominous foretelling. It read, "No, do not go back there. If you find that cave entrance, don't go in. You won't get out."
Fucking government.
Well, somebody was right.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me
anyways.
think that they had the cameras around that area, just like they did at Hawkins lab, having all those cameras sitting up,
Yes.
so that way if anyone came in.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you wonder. I mean, it could be possible.
Mm.
But, I don't know. Government stuff like that freaked me out.
I don't know. Chester told me
Chester.
that's what's really happening over there.
Is that what's happening, Chester?
Like, yep. He's behind it all. No.
Damn cats.
I knew it.
Probably are, though.
Wouldn't be surprised.
At the end of
Catspiracy.
the last episode of Stranger Things, it's going to be a cat behind everything.
The cat. It's been the cats the entire time.
Oh, fuck.
That would be a twist.
That would be fucked up. They've
Wait,
been controlling
it would
everyone.
be revenge of, what was Dustin's cat's name? Getting killed by the...
Oh God,
I forgot what the cat's name was. The demi-dog ate it?
Yes.
that was
So now the cats are getting...
God, what was the name of that one?
It was a funny name.
Hold on.
That poor cat. Was it Mr.
Muse.
Muse.
Muse, because then she gets that other.
Biscuits.
No, she gets that other. His mom gets the other cat, and it's Muse too.
Oh.
Yep. Now I remember that.
Yeah, but hey, probably the cat's getting revenge.
Cat's like, fucking bitch. Guess what now?
That would be a twist.
See these Demogorgons? They're gonna fucking take you,
Right.
all of you. We are superior to you.
Yes.
I honestly think that's what cats think, is that they're
They
superior.
do. They really do.
They're just like, fuck all of the humans.
Yep.
When information is withheld, when decisions are made in silence, and when the people affected are never meant to speak.
That fear didn't stay confined to classified files or sealed reports. It settled into the public consciousness. As these fears took shape behind closed doors, they didn't stay there. They surfaced quietly in newspapers, on television, and in the routines of everyday life.
By the late 1970s and into the 1980s, public anxiety around missing children had become part of the national consciousness. Children weren't just vanishing in distant places. They were disappearing from neighborhoods, from schools, from streets that were supposed to be safe.
Photographs of missing children began appearing on milk cartons, printed alongside expiration dates and nutrition labels. Their names entered homes during breakfast. Their faces sat on kitchen tables.
There were no explanations, no guarantees, and often no endings.
The message was subtle, but unmistakable. If this could happen to them, it could happen anywhere.
Parents were told to watch closely. Children were told to be careful. Communities were told to stay alert. But answers were scarce.
The fear didn't come from a single case. It came from repetition. From seeing the same faces, the same unanswered questions, reprinted again and again.
Over time, those images stopped being shocking. They became familiar. And that familiarity was its own kind of horror.
Because when something becomes familiar, it also becomes easier to live alongside.
This was the backdrop. A culture already conditioned to expect disappearance, to accept uncertainty, and to move forward without answers.
Stories didn't need to explain why children vanished. The fear was already understood.
It lived in headlines and warnings, in the spaces where the silence followed, the question of what happened.
So, when stories began to explore missing children, government secrecy, and towns that looked normal on the surface, they didn't feel exaggerated. They felt familiar.
All right. I'm curious, when you think back to this era, are there any cases or even just faces that come to mind for either of you? Not because of how they ended, but because of how often they were seen or how little was it ever explained?
Well, Johnny...
Yeah, because it was one of the kids who wasn't like the first face
He was a
on there,
newspaper
but
boy.
his face was on there for a long time.
Yep.
Well, it just brings me back to, like, Will, because Will, he was on they put his face on a milk carton, too, I think, right?
I don't remember. I don't.
Gosh.
You have that milk carton thing with his face on it, but I don't know if that's
Yeah.
really from the show.
Well, I know it was around that time is when the whole milk carton thing started.
Yeah,
Missing
'cause-
children.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because that's one thing that people always got.
Will Byers was never actually shown on a milk carton within the Stranger Things TV series itself.
Okay.
The Missing Kids on Milk Cartons campaign was a real phenomenon in the U.S. during the 1980s, which is the time period in which Stranger Things is set.
Okay, so that's what, yeah.
However, due to the cultural impact of both the show and the real-life 80s phenomenon, official merchandise and promotional items were later created that featured Will Byers' picture on replica missing persons milk cartons.
Okay, that makes sense, because I have one.
Yep.
I don't remember. I was like, was he? No, but I think of Johnny Gosh, because I think, yeah, he was like one of the first around that time on a milk carton.
Yeah, one of the...
And he still don't know what happened to him.
No.
He was on his newspaper route and poof.
Vanished. It was
Sad.
Vecna.
Yeah, it's
It was
just
his Demogorgon.
what they said. It seems like it was conditioning to get them to used to kids disappearing, because, I mean, they were taking these kids for these experiments.
Yep.
That's what they say, right? Did that Montauk?
Yeah, because it seems like they were taking children because their minds were easier molding
Yeah.
and easier adaptive, and then they were starting to put them on milk cartons and putting them in people's families' houses, and people were getting familiar with them. And out of that familiarity, then you're like, it's easier to lose track of it because there's so many going on that you're overlooking it, because now you're on to the next one because you got a new thing of milk a week later, and it's
Yeah.
a different kid on that one. And seems like they're conditioning you to forget what happened to these kids without answers, so that way they can take them for their experiments,
Yeah.
Yep.
allegedly.
Yeah. There's a reason the Upside Down doesn't feel like fantasy. It feels familiar.
The creators have never defined it as a specific metaphor, but many viewers have.
Because it looks like something people already live with. A world that mirrors reality, but stripped of warmth, of movement, of resolution.
Nothing grows there. Nothing heals. Nothing moves on.
For many, it reflects what's left behind after real trauma. Not the moment something happened, but everything that came after.
The waiting, the not knowing, the unanswered questions that settle into everyday life.
It's the version of the world where time stopped the day someone disappeared. Where dinner still gets made, lights still turn on, life still moves forward. But something is permanently missing.
That's why the Upside Down isn't terrifying because it's impossible. It's terrifying because people recognize it.
Communities live inside spaces like this. Families do. They learn how to function around absence.
Around silence, and around the idea that some answers never come.
I want to ask you both something. Do you think stories like this help people survive uncertainty? Or do they just give shape to the grief that already carry?
That's a good one.
I would say so. I mean, I guess because they're already grieving.
Yeah, it would help them a little
So they
bit.
want to, like, hold on to something.
Yeah.
Because, like, I guess a lot of listeners saying the upside down is like, obviously the opposite of the real. Like, everything just is put at a...
Kind of a pause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's dead. Like, trauma.
Besides the
trapped.
damn vines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think it...
And nothing grows there. It's just like
It's a desolate land.
Depressing place.
I mean, yeah, if you're grieving, then I
Scary
guess
place.
you do live there already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not
So,
beyond
like,
reality.
Time's still moving on, but
It's
like,
not impossible. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's depressing thinking about.
It really is. I mean, it's just depressing to think about the upside down in general, because it really is just a dead planet opposite of ours.
Yeah.
It's
All
like
will face
silent
their own
and-
upside down.
Yeah, it's like your biggest fears live down there, you know. I don't know.
straight up hell.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty
And the
much.
only way to get out is your own securities.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the most unsettling part isn't another world. It's realizing how many people already live in one. Stories like this don't stay with us because they scare us. They stay with us because they recognize something real.
They remind us that fear doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it settles in slowly, through unanswered questions, through absence, through the things we're told to move past without understanding.
And while fiction gives these fears a shape, the emotions behind them don't belong to stories alone.
They belong to people, to families, to communities left waiting. And that concludes this New Year's Eve mini episode of Veil of Echoes. If this episode resonated with you, our full catalog explores the real stories behind fear, mystery, and the unexplained.
From true crime to the paranormal, we take our time with these stories and tell them with care.
And this Friday, we return to the paranormal, deep in the Appalachian Mountains.
Until then, keep your ears open.
And the veil closed.